Unit 1. Busy Days. Exercise 3, page 6. Is the job still available? Are you fully qualified? Have you got experience at all levels? Here's a job for me. I bet it's hard work. Shall I apply? It can't hurt to try. You are so lucky. That's a really fun job. Exercise 4, page 6. A.
Hello, I'm calling about the position of ski instructor.
Oh, good. What's your name, please?
It's Steve. Steve Phillips. Is the job still available?
Oh, yes. Are you fully qualified, Steve?
Yes, I got my instructor's license 2 years ago.
I see. And have you got experience at all levels?
Well, I usually work with absolute beginners.
That's fine. Would you be able to come for an interview on Tuesday morning, say around 10 o'clock?
Of course.
Great. Just ask for Laura. See you then.
Thanks, bye.
B.
Oh, here's a job for me.
What's that?
A cameraman for the local TV channel.
Is that something you'd like to do?
Well, why not? It sounds exciting.
I bet it's hard work too.
They want someone with a degree and good technical skills.
I expect there's more to it than that.
What do you think? Shall I apply?
Why not? It can't hurt to try.
Okay, I will. Wish me luck.
C.
Hello, Anne. Is that your dog?
No, I'm just looking after him while his owners are away. It's my new job.
Your job?
Yeah, I'm a pet sitter.
You are so lucky. That sounds like a really fun job.
I know. It's perfect for me because I love animals.
Listen, Anne. I'm going on holiday next week. Can you look after my pet python?
I hate to turn work down, but I don't have much experience with reptiles. Sorry, Jason.
Exercise 9, page 9. A.
Well, I usually get up quite early, at about 7 a.m. I look through the papers and check the celebrity news on the internet, and I ring a few of my reliable sources to see if there are any interesting stories that I should know about. If there is any exciting news about a celebrity, then I always call their agent to ask for a comment. I spend most of the morning on the phone. Then I write my article in the afternoon and submit it to my editor. She's usually thrilled with what I come up with.
B.
My routine varies depending on what jobs I've got on. I'm self-employed, so I get work through friends or through recommendations. On a working day, I get up at 6 in the morning because I like to get an early start. I prepare my equipment, brushes, ladders and so on, and drive to wherever it is I'm working. I work all day with a short break for lunch. When I get home, I clean all the brushes, and myself, of course, and relax.
C.
I've got quite a strange routine, really. I get up at 2 a.m. and drive to the dairy to pick up my float. I deliver pints until 8 or 9 in the morning. When I finish my rounds, I go home, have breakfast, and do a few jobs around the house. My working day is over before most people's have begun.
D.
Well, if I'm doing a children's puppet show in the morning, I get up at 8:30 a.m., load the scenery and the puppets onto the van and drive to the venue. I put up the set, do the performance, and I often chat to the children afterwards to see what they liked or didn't like about the show. In the afternoons, I deal with any phone messages and correspondence and arrange bookings. After that, I spend some time in my workshop making puppets and scenery. I often perform shows in the evenings, and especially at the weekends, so I'm always very busy.
E. As I don't have an actual boss, I can alter my routine according to my mood. So I don't usually get up very early. I'm not a morning person, so I spend the first few hours of the day pottering around the flat before I get down to work. I work on different projects every day for various newspapers or magazines. I usually do a bit of research and then set about writing whatever it is I'm meant to write. It's a great job, and I love being my own boss. Exercise 12. Page 9. 1.
Hi, I'm David. I'm 28 years old and I live in Newcastle. I'm a mechanic. It's a great job.
2.
Hello, my name's Sam. I'm 42 years old. I'm a lorry driver. I like to travel, but I haven't got much time for family.
3. Hello, I'm Sue. I love animals and being outdoors, so I became a vet. I'm 25 years old. 4.
Hi, my name's Marie. I'm 32 years old and I'm a waitress. I enjoy meeting lots of new people. I spend most of my free time looking after my garden.
Exercise 17. Page 10. I must send John a telegram to tell him my plans, but I don't think I'll have time.
Don't worry, I'll send the telegram. Just tell me what you want to say.
Oh, thanks. Well, I need him to know that I'm leaving for Rome at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Leaving for Rome at 7 a.m. Okay, what else?
I'm staying at the Benelli Hotel.
Benelli Hotel. Okay, got it.
I'm meeting John and Toby at 10:30 in the morning.
John and Toby, 10:30 a.m. Okay?
And I'm coming back on Friday afternoon.
Friday. Right, I've got all that.
Oh, thanks, Claire. You're a lifesaver. Exercise 18. Page 10.
Paula, could I have a word with you, please?
Of course, Mr. Harper. Is anything the matter?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I've noticed that you are usually late for work. This just isn't good enough, Paula.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Harper. It's just that I have trouble getting up in the mornings. I'll try harder.
But that's not all, Paula. You sometimes leave your computer on as well.
Oh, sorry. I suppose I just forget.
Also, I know that your work is usually of a high standard, but you rarely meet your deadlines. It takes you days to write a simple report.
Well, reports are quite difficult.
And I notice you often take very long lunch breaks and return with bags of shopping.
I won't do it again, Mr. Harper.
Paula, I have to be honest. It is only the fact that you are always polite and courteous to our customers that I am inclined to give you another chance.
Yes, Mr. Harper.
However, this is your final warning. Do you understand?
Yes, Mr. Harper. I'll try to do better. Exercise 26B. Page 12.
It's a dog's life. The Alameda Police Department in California is proud to have Kenzie on the force. He's a real-life superhero. Kenzie is not an ordinary police officer, though. He is a police service dog, PSD, in the K-9 unit, K-9. As one of Alameda's K-9s, Kenzie is a fully trained police dog. He works under cover of darkness, using his powers of smell, hearing, and night vision to track down criminals. He's a handsome German shepherd with dark tan fur and black markings on his head and neck. His handler, Patrick, tells us about a day in the life of a K-9.
Kenzie and I work the night shift,
Says Patrick.
Our working day starts at 5 p.m. and ends at 3 a.m. Kenzie sleeps in the same room as me because I like to know that he's sleeping and not playing. We get up at about midday and have our breakfast. Kenzie always has a high-quality dry dog food and water. After breakfast, Kenzie has time to play with my other dog, another German Shepherd, and enjoy his time off. Before we go to work, Kenzie and I spend some time training. There is a lot of training and testing involved in being a K9. But Kenzie loves his work, so he doesn't mind. At 4 p.m., we leave the house and drive to the police station. Kenzie sits in the back of the car, which is actually a mini kennel. He waits in the car while I prepare for work, and then we hit the streets. Kenzie is on patrol for 10 hours. He knows that this is not a time for playing or sleeping, so he remains alert at all times. Above all, his job is to protect me. But on specialized assignments, he searches for criminals and looks for evidence. And he does all this very well. Kenzie's a real professional. He has a lot of experience in sniffing out criminals and is a great help in difficult situations. Kenzie even saved my life once when he stopped an armed suspect from attacking me. He's not only my hero, but his work is of great benefit to me and to the police force in general. When our shift is over, Kenzie and I return to the station. Then we go home. Kenzie has his second meal at about 4 a.m., and after that we go straight to bed. We have the same routine every day, which is good. Like all dogs, Kenzie loves routine. On our days off, Kenzie and I often travel together, or do some training. We enjoy spending time together. Being a K9 handler requires a lot of commitment, but it's well worth it. I think of Kenzie as my friend, as well as my partner, and I'm sure he feels the same way about me.
Exercise 34, page 14.
Good afternoon. I'd like to register with this employment agency.
Certainly. What's your name, please?
It's Robert Elliott.
What kind of work can you do?
Well, anything clerical.
Great. What hours are you willing to work?
I'd prefer to work mornings.
Thank you, Mr. Elliott. Please fill in this
Exercise
form.
35, page 14.
Dog walker, taxi driver, estate agent, police officer, flight attendant, telephone operator, secret agent, newspaper editor.
Exercise 3, page 17.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Episode 1, How It All Started.
My name's Huckleberry Finn, but everyone just calls me Huck. And this is the story of my adventures. It all started with my best friend, Tom Sawyer. Gold coins, Tom! We're rich.
We can ask Judge Thatcher to look after the money for us.
Here you are, boys. $1 each, every day of your lives.
Thank you, Judge Thatcher.
Widow Douglas has got something to say, Huck.
Huck, no one has seen your father for a year. You live in the woods like a wild animal and don't go to school. You need a real home, Huck. I want you to come and live with me, like my son.
A few months later. Well, Huck, how's life at the widow's?
It's hard, Tom. Wearing smart clothes, going to school. And the widow's sister, Miss Watson, makes lots of rules. I like Jim, though. He's Miss Watson's slave. Jim, I'm scared. My papa's come back.
But Huck, everyone says that your father's dead.
Well, everyone's wrong then. See? That mark is from Pap's boot.
That night...
Pap! Pap.
You think you're better than me, don't you? Going to school, sleeping in a fancy bed. And people say you're rich.
Oh! Please, Pap, don't!
Unit 2. What a story. Exercise 3. Page 18. 1. Two. 3. 4. 5. Exercise 4, page 19.
Oh, my goodness! That's terrible. Well, that's a relief. What caused it? Thank you for your cooperation. Was anyone hurt? Well, it's all over now. Just in time. Thankfully, no.
Exercise 5, page 19. A. Quick, Steve, come and listen to this news report on the radio.
What is it? What happened?
A plane crashed while it was coming in to land at Heathrow.
Oh, my goodness, that's terrible. When did it happen?
Just now.
Were there many people on board?
About 150, I think. A lot of them are in hospital now, but the fire brigade got everyone out.
Well, that's a relief. What caused this?
Shh. Let's listen. They're telling us now.
For listeners just tuning in, a Boeing 727 was...
B.
Can you tell me how the accident happened, sir?
Yes, I saw the whole thing. The blue car was heading this way down the road when the cyclist pulled out of that side road right in front of it.
Was the car speeding?
No, but the driver had to act quickly to avoid hitting the cyclist. He swerved over to the other side of the road and into the path of an oncoming bus.
I see. What happened next?
He swerved again, but he lost control of the vehicle. There was a loud screeching noise as he slammed on his brakes, and then he crashed into that tree.
Right. I don't think there'll be anything more at this point. I just need to take your full name and address for the record.
OK. It's Tony Brown, 16, Bull Park Lane, Clevedon.
That will be all for now, sir. Thank you for your cooperation.
You're welcome.
C.
What's wrong? You look awful.
I just witnessed a robbery.
Really? What happened?
Well, I was waiting in the queue to pay for my groceries when I saw the man in front of me pull out a gun.
Oh, no.
Yes. He started waving the gun around and shouting at the cashier to hand over the money. While the cashier was giving him the money, he pressed the alarm button. The robber fired the gun and then ran away.
Was anyone hurt?
Thankfully, no. And the police arrived just in time to arrest the robber.
What a frightening experience.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm still shaking.
Well, it's all over now. Sit down and I'll make you a nice cup of tea.
Exercise 10, page 20. 1.
I found your handbag in my car.
Phew! I thought I'd lost it. 2.
Let's have some orange juice.
Yuck! This is off.
3.
Hi, Mom. Oh, I didn't expect to find you at home.
4.
This is a picture of a beach in Thailand.
Wow! It's the most beautiful beach I've ever seen.
5.
This key should open the door.
Huh?
Which key?
6. And I tried another pair of shoes, but they didn't fit me.
Did you?
7.
There was a terrible plane crash near the north coast last night.
Exercise 11A, page 21. 1. Jamie.
All I can remember is that we were walking along the top of this cliff when suddenly I slipped on the wet grass and fell over the edge. I don't know how I did it, but as I was falling, I managed to grab onto this rock that was sticking out and stop myself. I was so afraid, I thought I was going to fall.
2. Danny.
I didn't know what was happening at first. I didn't see him go over. I just heard him shouting for help. When I looked over the edge and saw him hanging there, I froze. At first, I didn't know what to do. Then I shouted for Miss Bell and I climbed down the cliff and helped Jamie climb back up.
3. Miss Bell.
To be honest, I thought the boys were playing a joke on me at first. But then I looked over the cliff and saw them both down there. I was really thankful to see them both still alive. I phoned for help on my mobile, but by that time Danny was on his way back up the cliff with Jamie. I didn't know whether to scold them or kiss them when they got back to the top.
4. Ted Holmes.
Well, there wasn't really much for me to do when I arrived. Both Danny and Jamie were safe. They had a few cuts and bruises and so on, so I radioed for a helicopter to take them to hospital. I have to say, though, Danny is a very brave young man. We're all more than pleased with him, with both of them, in fact. By staying calm, they managed to get themselves out of a very sticky situation.
Exercise 20, page 23.
Hi, Alex. Sorry I'm so late.
What happened? I was worried about you.
I missed the bus.
Oh, dear. How did you get here in the end?
I had to walk. It took me 40 minutes.
You must be tired. Sit down and have a cup of tea.
Thanks. I'm exhausted.
Exercise 21, page 23.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. I'm very sorry. Look, I'm sorry, okay?
Exercise 25, page 24.
Lost in the jungle. The shadows were growing longer, and the sky was getting dark as we walked through the jungle. My two friends and I felt hot and exhausted. We were heading for a small village in northern India. The villagers were expecting us, but we were already 4 hours late. As the last of the daylight disappeared, we began to feel very lost and afraid. We tried to find our way to the village, but it was hard to tell which path we should follow in the darkness. All around us, strange creatures made terrifying noises as they woke up and began to hunt for food. We hoped they wouldn't want to eat us. Then George, who was in front, stopped suddenly in his tracks.
Tiger!
He whispered urgently, pointing at a large dark shape moving silently towards us through the trees. We froze in horror. George was right. We could see the black stripes and shining yellow eyes of the most dangerous animal in the jungle. We stared at the tiger, too scared to move. After a few seconds that felt like hours, there was the sound of branches breaking, and the tiger leapt at us, roaring loudly. We screamed because we were sure it would kill us. Strangely, though, the tiger stopped, and then I noticed that it had 6 legs, 2 of them human. The tiger stood up, and a young man took off the striped skin covering his head and shoulders.
Hello.
He said, smiling broadly.
I'm Abby from the village. When you didn't arrive, we were worried, so I came to look for you.
He explained.
It's traditional for us to wear the tiger skin to greet new guests, and I couldn't resist playing a trick on you. I hope you don't mind.
Recovering from the shock, we began to laugh with relief. We followed Abby to his village, where the villagers gave us a warm welcome. After a delicious meal, we sat around the fire, listening to our new friends' fascinating stories about the real tigers in the jungle. It was a great end to a day full of adventure.
Exercise 38, page 27. It was a warm afternoon last summer, and Jason and his friends were on a sailing holiday in the Mediterranean. Jason was standing on the deck of his boat and looking anxiously up at the sky. The weather was usually nice at this time of the year, but now black clouds were gathering. Although it was early afternoon, it was already very dark.
It looks like we're in for a storm,
he said to his friends Paul and Tony.
We'd better get ready.
Before they knew it, they were in the middle of the storm. Lightning flashed and thunder rolled across the sky. Soon the boat was rocking from side to side, and huge waves were crashing around it. They were all very scared. Tony realized that they were in danger and quickly radioed for help. Just then, a bolt of lightning struck the boat, and the mast burst into flames. They all began to panic.
We're going to sink!
They cried. Paul told the boys to get into the life raft.
We can't save the boat,
he said.
But we can save ourselves!
They threw the life raft into the water and jumped in after it. As they climbed aboard, they wondered what would happen now. They watched as their burning boat sank slowly into the sea. Suddenly, they heard the sound of the boat over the roar of the storm. They shouted and waved as the boat drew closer to them. It was the Coast Guard. As they stepped onto the boat, they felt lucky to be alive. Who would have thought that their holiday would end in disaster? Exercise 2, page 29.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Episode 2, How Huck Was Murdered.
Huck is living with Widow Douglas, but now his father, Pap, has come back. A few weeks later, after school...
That judge says I can't have your money, and the widow wants to take you away from me forever. But I'll show them. I'm taking you with me to live in the woods, where no one can find you. You can't get away. I'm gonna lock you in the cabin when I'm not here.
At the start of summer,
it's a nice, easy life with no school and no Miss Watson. But Pap keeps beating me all the time. I'm going to run away soon. Pap's going to town again. Now's my chance to escape. Now it looks like robbers got in and murdered me. Pap will think I'm dead, and he won't try to find me. Everyone will think my body is in the river. I can hide on Jackson's Island. No one ever goes there.
Finn, page 31.
This morning, I should stay in bed. Got a frown on my face and an ache in my head. I got the blues. There's nothing I can do. I bought a new house, it cost thousands of pounds, but an earthquake shook my home down to the ground. I've got the blues, and there's nothing I can do. Work in the garden, planting flowers all day, but a big bad hurricane blew them all away. I got the blues. There's nothing I can do. I had a new sports car, it was painted gold, but I crashed it into a telephone pole. I got the blues. There's nothing I can do. This morning, it's a mystery why all this bad luck is following me. I got the blues. There's nothing I can do. I got the bad luck blues, and there's nothing I can
do. Unit 4. Out and About. Exercise 3. Page 44.
How's that? Sounds great. Never mind. You'll never guess. Go on then, tell me. You're joking. There's only one problem with that. I haven't seen you for ages. You lucky thing. What was it like? Not in the least.
Exercise 4. Page 44. A.
Kate, you're back. Did you have a good time?
Yes, thanks. York is so beautiful.
Were you able to relax then?
Oh, definitely. It's much quieter and cleaner than London.
How's that?
Well, for one thing, cars aren't allowed in the city centre during the day, so there's less noise and pollution.
That's great. What did you do there?
I visited the museums and did some shopping. The antique shops and the shambles are fantastic.
Sounds great.
Yes, except when I got home, I realised I'd forgotten to take my camera, so I don't have any photos to show you.
Never mind. You'll just have to go again, won't you?
B.
Louise, is that a postcard from Paula?
Yes, and listen to this. You'll never guess what happened while she was on holiday in New York.
Go on then, tell me.
She had just sat down at a cafe when she noticed Julia Roberts was sitting at the next table.
You're joking.
No, it's true. She got her autograph and took a picture of her.
Perhaps we should go to New York and take some photos of famous people too.
There's only one problem with that.
What do you mean?
The tickets are far too expensive.
C.
Hello, Tony. I haven't seen you for ages.
Hi, Pat. Yes, I've been away. I've been on a trip to China.
China? You lucky thing. What was it like?
Well, all the cities I visited were very crowded. but the people were really friendly.
So, did you have a great time?
Oh, yes. It's the most amazing place I've ever been to. The only problem was the airline had left my luggage in London, so it didn't turn up until 3 days after I had arrived there. I had to buy some clothes and a few other things.
Oh, dear. It didn't spoil your trip, did it?
Not in the least.
Exercise 10A, page 46. 1. I was on holiday last year in Paris when I ran into Mrs. Melville, my old French teacher, at the Louvre. She'd helped me so much when I was at school that I really wanted to do something to repay her, so I invited her to lunch. We went to a really wonderful restaurant and I told her to order whatever she wanted, that it was my treat. It was great talking about old times and the food was brilliant. Then the bill came, and I opened my bag to get out my credit card, but I couldn't find it. I searched everywhere, but it was nowhere to be found. I didn't even have enough cash to pay the bill. So in the end, I had to borrow money from Mrs. Melville. I was so embarrassed. I got her address, of course, and paid her back as soon as I could. But that's not the point, is it? 2.
A couple of years ago, I was on my way back from San Francisco. Everything was wonderful until I got to the airport to come home. The airlines had cancelled all flights back to Europe due to bad weather. We waited in the departure lounge for hours. It was incredibly crowded, and of course, everyone had lots of luggage. But all we could do was sit and wait. Finally, we were all put on buses and taken to nearby hotels for the night. The next day we went to the airport again, and luckily we only had to wait a couple of hours before we got put on a flight home.
3.
I went to a beach resort for the first time a few years back. It was beautiful, the longest beaches I'd ever seen, lined with palms. On the first day, I found the perfect location on the beach. I put on my suntan oil, lay back, and fell asleep. I woke up hours later, alone on the beach, and red all over. I had the worst sunburn of my life, and I had to spend my 10-day holiday in my hotel room, covered in cream. Then, to make matters worse, I started peeling as soon as I arrived back home. I went back to work with a red, peeling face. What a nightmare!
4.
Last year we decided to visit our daughter. She was living in Spain at the time, wasn't she, dear? Now we wanted to surprise her, so we made all the arrangements ourselves. The flight arrived in Madrid on time, and then we had to catch a bus to Valladolid. As soon as we got off the bus, we called our daughter so that she could come and pick us up. It was only then that we realized we'd taken the wrong bus. We were in Vallepenas, not Valladolid. Our daughter did come and pick us up, but she had to drive more than 300 kilometers to get us. Much longer than we had planned.
5.
I had a terrible year, so I decided to treat myself to a cruise. I chose the most luxurious one I could afford, a tropical island hop. What I didn't take into consideration was that it was the rainy season. The seas were really rough. It rained almost constantly, and I got seasick. I spent most of my time either in bed or in the bathroom. I couldn't eat or drink anything except barley water. So much for the gourmet food. What a waste.
Exercise 11A, page 46. 1. I'm afraid I don't have any booking under that name, sir. 2.
This is an announcement for all passengers waiting to board British Airways Flight 207 to Mexico. This flight has been delayed until further notice. Please check the monitors for further information. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause.
3.
The express train for Brighton is now boarding at Platform 6. Platform 6 for the express train to Brighton.
4.
Would you like a single, a double, or a twin?
5.
We'd like to remind all customers of today's book sale on the 3rd floor. There are plenty of special offers, so don't miss out.
6. Please fasten your seatbelt during takeoff. All passengers are advised to keep their seatbelts fastened for the duration of the flight. Exercise 14, page 47.
Join Tony's Gym today and pay a special membership fee of only £30 a month. 438 members can't be wrong. Tony's Gym has a good range of facilities and we're open every day from 8 AM until 7 PM. All our equipment is no more than 2 years old, so everything is in great condition. Get yourself in great condition too. Call Tony's Gym on 0700 263 549 today.
The Health and Fitness Centre in Winkley Square is the perfect place for you to get in shape. With a membership fee of just £85 a month, you can join our 1,000 members and get fit in style. Our facilities are very good, with a variety of machines and equipment. The Health and Fitness Centre is open from 10 AM until 10 PM every day. All our equipment is only 1 year old and ready for you to use. Visit us today and find out why the Health and Fitness Centre is the best choice in town. Universal Health Club is now open in Church Street with a membership of just £100 a month. We already have 321 members, so join now and find out why the Universal Health Club is so popular. Is it our excellent facilities or our long opening hours? We're open from 9 AM to 7 PM daily, so you can work out at a time that suits you. Try out all our new equipment. It's only 6 months old. Call the Universal Health Club now on 0802 679 134. Exercise 21, page 49. 1. Two. 3. 4. 5. 23A, page 49.
Good morning, Crown Hotel.
Yes, good morning. I'd like to book a room, please.
Certainly, sir. When for?
2nd of July for 2 nights.
That's fine. Would you like a single or a double room?
Single, please.
Could I take your name, please?
Yes, it's John Black. How much does the room cost?
It's £45 a night, including breakfast.
Great. Do I have to pay a deposit?
No, not at all. You pay when you check out.
Right then. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Black.
Exercise 24, page 49.
Which is the deepest ocean in the world? The Atlantic, the Pacific, or the Indian? Which river is longer? The Amazon or the Nile? Which is the fastest animal in the world? The zebra or the cheetah?
Exercise 26, page 50. A. Poland. Whether you are interested in culture or countryside, Poland has something for you. With a long, fascinating history and rich traditions, it certainly won't leave you bored. Warsaw is the capital city and the cultural centre of Poland. Here you can visit the Royal Castle and Łazienki Park, as well as many museums and theatres. Don't miss the Royal Route,
a line of streets filled with grand palaces, ancient monuments, elegant shops, art galleries, and traditional restaurants and cafes. An evening of theatre, opera or ballet at the National Theatre, or a performance of exquisite classical music from the Warsaw Philharmonic will be an unforgettable experience. Those who want to relax and spend some time by the sea should visit one of Poland's many health resorts in Pomerania. Nearby Warmia is the perfect place to relax by a beautiful lake or walk through a green forest. You can also go horse riding, white water rafting, or take a trip up into the mountains. With so much unspoiled countryside and so many impressive sights, any visit to Poland is sure to be the experience of a lifetime.
B. Chile.
Chile, home of the Andes Mountains and the Atacama Desert, is a wonderful place for a holiday. With an amazing range of scenery from dry desert to green forests and winding rivers to sandy beaches, it is a holiday destination to suit all tastes and pockets. For the perfect adventure holiday, Pucón, a small town at the foot of volcano Villarrica in Chile's Lake District, is the place to go. You can go rafting, water skiing, or boating on the Trancura River. If you're in good shape, climb to the snow-capped top of volcano Villarrica and enjoy the panoramic beauty of the Andes. You can also try horse riding or fishing or simply relax in the hot springs that surround the Biobío River. For the perfect city break, go to Santiago, Chile's capital. Here you will find luxurious hotels, shopping centers, museums, theaters, and fun parks. You can eat at a variety of ethnic restaurants and try foods from around the world. Be sure to try the national dish, empanada. It's delicious. You can buy colorful rugs and beautiful jewelry in the large shopping centers and traditional markets, which are open daily. Chile is a magical country, with something to suit every taste. You're sure to have the time of your life there.
C. Portugal. Portugal is one of Europe's most fascinating countries, with fantastic beach resorts, beautiful towns and cities, and enchanting countryside. It is the perfect blend of the traditional and modern, and has something to offer every traveller. The Algarve in the south of Portugal is where you will find the most popular tourist resorts, such as Lagos. It has superb beaches and luxurious hotels, as well as facilities for renting mopeds, bicycles, and even horses, so you can get out and about and enjoy the wonderful scenery. Lisbon, the capital of Portugal, is one of the oldest capitals in Europe, with a fascinating mixture of beautiful building styles. The lower part of the city contains the busy new town, with its trendy shops and outdoor cafes. The old town, Alfamar, with its cobbled streets, narrow alleys and colourful buildings, rests on the upper level. This is where all the restaurants and nightclubs can be found. Don't forget to visit the castle, which offers a wonderful view over the city and the Rio Tejo. Whichever part of Portugal you choose to visit, one thing is certain: you will have an unforgettable holiday. Exercise 2, page 55.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Episode 4, Sarah Williams.
Huck goes to town to get the latest news. He dresses up as a girl so that nobody will recognize him.
This woman's new in town. She's never met me.
Sarah, Sarah Williams.
I'm Mrs. Loftus. Come in and sit down, Sarah.
Did you hear about Huck Finn's murder?
Yes, and Miss Watson's slave ran away the same day. They say he's the murderer. There's a $300 reward for catching him. And I think I know where he is. Jackson's Island. My husband's going there at midnight with a gun. I knew you weren't a girl. What's your real name, boy?
It's George Peters. I have to go now, ma'am. I'll have to hurry. It's almost midnight. Jim, wake up! We've got to go right now.
Well, Huck, here we go. Off down the mighty Mississippi River.
Let's sing. Page 57.
Get on a boat, get on a plane, get in your car or get on a train. Travel to a place you've never been and see things you've never seen. I've been to Italy twice so far. I flew there and then hired a car. I drove around and saw the sights and ate pasta every night. Get on a boat, get on a plane, get in your car or get on a train. Travel to a place you've never been and see things you've never seen. I've never been to the USA, but my friend went there for a holiday. He went to LA and New York too. That's something I would love to do. Get on a boat, get on a plane, get in your car or get on a train. Travel to a place you've never been and see things you've never seen. Jamaica is a great place to go. I went last year, so I should know. I lay on the sand by the clear blue sea under a swaying palm tree. Get on a boat, get on a plane, get in your car or get on a train. Travel to a place you've never been and see things you've never seen.
Unit 5. Tasty Treats. Exercise 3. Page 58.
Are you ready to order? I'll have that, please. How would you like it cooked? Medium rare. That's nice of you. What's on the menu? Got any ideas? You can't go wrong with that. Leave it to me. I've got that covered.
Exercise 4. Page 58. A.
Are you ready to order?
I'm not sure. Can you tell me what today's specials are, please?
Certainly, madam. Today we have salmon bake cooked in a creamy mushroom sauce with flaked almonds on top.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Then there's sirloin steak with a spicy tomato and pepper sauce.
Oh, I'm afraid I can't eat anything spicy.
Well, we also have a roast lamb served with a honey and mustard sauce.
Oh, yes, I'll have that, please.
And for you, sir?
I'll have the steak, please.
How would you like it cooked?
Medium rare. No, on second thoughts, I think I'd rather have it well done.
Right. Thank you.
B.
Something smells good. What's cooking, Lauren?
I'm cooking a special meal for Tom's birthday.
That's nice of you. What's on the menu?
I'm making fish and roast potatoes.
Sounds delicious. What's for dessert?
I'm going to make a chocolate cake. It's his favorite.
Yum. What's that smell, Lauren?
Oh no! The fish is burning! Turn the cooker off, quick!
C.
So, Joyce, are we all set for the dinner party on Saturday then?
Not quite. I haven't decided on the menu yet. It's difficult to choose dishes that everyone will like. Got any ideas?
What about prawn cocktail for starters? Most people like that.
Yes, but Gordon's allergic to prawns.
Oh dear. Well, how about a nice vegetable soup? You can't go wrong with that.
Right, and the main course is a problem.
Well, most people like chicken, don't they?
Yes, except Sarah's a vegetarian.
Does she like pasta? I can make vegetable lasagna with a rich cheese sauce.
That would be great. Are you sure you can manage that?
Leave it to me. Now, what about dessert?
I've got that covered. I'm making my special cherry cheesecake.
Oh, great! I can't wait.
Exercise 11, page 61.
Good morning and welcome to Food Today. On today's program, we'll be talking about foods that cure. With us in the studio is author and health guru Joanne Baxter.
Good morning.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. Now, is it really true that foods can cure?
Yes, it is. We all know about the negative health effects of eating too much junk food. Well, eating enough of the right kinds of foods can actually improve our health.
Can you give us an example?
Of course. Let's say someone feels tired all the time and lacking in energy. There could be a number of causes, but a surefire solution is to eat lots of small amounts of whole grains, brown rice, and fish, such as salmon or tuna.
Really? That's interesting.
Isn't it? It's much better than taking pills and potions.
That's a good point. What about headaches? Most people would take a pill for that. Is there something we can eat instead?
Sure. Celery is very good for curing headaches, and so are cherries. However, it also helps to eat less cheese and chocolate.
I see. What about indigestion? I often suffer from this and would love to know how to get rid of it quickly without taking medicine.
That's easy. Just eat some raw cabbage and some broccoli. They settle your stomach and help balance your whole digestive system.
Thanks, I'll try that. Well, we're running out of time now. Any other gems of information for our listeners before we have to go?
Yes. The best foods to eat to maintain your overall health and keep colds and flu at bay are vegetables full of vitamin C, such as asparagus, broccoli, and carrots.
That's really interesting. I'm sure our listeners would like to learn more about this. Perhaps you could come back again and tell us some more about foods that cure.
Certainly.
Exercise 27, page 64.
Miracle oil. Did you know that there is a fruit juice that you can cook with, wash with, and preserve things with? Well, there is. It has been used for thousands of years in countries such as Greece, Italy, and Spain. What is it? It's olive oil, of course, and it's fast becoming the most popular oil in the world. Although people in Mediterranean countries have been using olive oil for over 4,000 years, it has only recently become popular in other parts of the world. In fact, people beyond the Mediterranean once saw olive oil as little more than an exotic but expensive luxury. However, recent studies linking an olive oil-rich diet with low rates of heart disease have made the rest of the world sit up and take notice. As a result, more and more people have come to realize the many health and nutritional benefits of giving up other oils and using olive oil instead. As well as tasting delicious and being the healthiest cooking oil available, olive oil has many other uses. It is a major ingredient in many cosmetics, hair conditioners, and soaps. It also has a wide variety of lesser-known uses, such as fixing squeaky doors and even polishing diamonds. It's also a preservative and will keep fish and cheese fresh for years. Perhaps more important, though, is olive oil's value as a medicine. Not only can eating olive oil lower the risk of serious diseases such as cancer and heart disease, it can also have a healing effect on many stomach disorders. On top of this, Mediterranean people have traditionally used it to treat minor wounds and illnesses. This could explain why people in Mediterranean countries tend to live longer. So the next time you go shopping, don't forget to add olive oil to your list. It will make your food taste better and your life last longer.
Exercise 31, page 65.
Well, I'm glad that's over.
Oh, come on, it wasn't that bad. The starters were okay.
Well, at least they were filling, which was a good thing because the rest of the meal was awful.
I suppose it was a bit overpriced, and the portions were a bit on the small side, apart from the starters, that is.
The service was lousy, too. Didn't you notice the waiter had his finger in my lasagna?
I did, actually, but I didn't like to say anything.
Oh, thanks a lot. Don't you care if I get food poisoning, then?
Calm down. I didn't say anything because I knew you'd be angry.
Well, at least I don't have to feel sorry about your pizza now.
What do you mean?
Well, from where I was sitting, I could see the kitchen. The chef must have been showing off because I saw him throw your pizza in the air, but he didn't catch it.
You mean it fell on the floor?
Afraid so.
No wonder the base was all black. I just thought it was burnt.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Did you notice how dirty the cutlery was?
I sure did. That's why I ate my pizza with my fingers.
And I wish I hadn't asked for a glass of water. There were greasy fingerprints all over it. I don't know why we didn't just leave.
Because we had made reservations.
No, it was because you were starving.
Oh, I see. So it's all my fault, then?
Well, you could say that.
Exercise 33, page 65.
Good evening, Mario's restaurant. How can I help you?
Hello. I'd like to book a table for tomorrow night, please.
Of course. What name, please?
Brown.
How many people is the booking for?
3.
That's fine. And what time would you like to eat?
At 8 o'clock.
I'm terribly sorry. We have no free tables until 8:30.
Oh, well, 8:30 is fine.
Wonderful. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Exercise 34A, page 65.
Excuse me, waiter.
Yes, sir. What seems to be the problem?
This steak is overcooked.
I'm terribly sorry, sir. I'll replace it at once.
Actually, I think I'd rather have something else.
Of course, sir. What would you like?
I'll have the chicken in mushroom sauce.
Certainly.
Exercise 35, page 66.
If you see Pam, ask her to phone me. If I go to London, I'll visit Mike. If it rains, we'll stay at home. If you're hungry, I'll make you a sandwich.
Exercise 3, page 69.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Episode 5, Down the Mississippi.
Huck and Jim leave Jackson's Island and set off down the Mississippi on their raft.
What are we going to do now, Jim?
Well, Huck, we can float all the way down to Cairo, where the Ohio River joins the Mississippi. When we reach Cairo, we'll sell the raft and go up the Ohio on a steamboat to the Free States. I'll be a free man, Huck, and I'll help my family get free, too. We better hide during the day and only travel at night.
I don't mind, Jim. It's so pretty, with the stars and the towns all lit up.
One night, there was a thick fog.
Jim, where are you?
Over here, Huck.
In the morning,
Jim!
Huck! Oh, I thought I was never going to see you again.
the next night,
We're looking for some runaway slaves. Who's on your raft, boy?
Ma and Pa and Mary Ann, sir. They're awfully sick. I'm taking them down to Cairo.
Let's go. We don't want to get sick, too. And Cairo is that way, boy. Up the river.
It's all right, Jim. They've gone now.
That was clever, Huck. But what are we going to do now? We went past Cairo in the fog last night.
That steamboat hasn't seen us.
It's going to hit us, Huck. Show him.
Unit 6. All work and no play. Exercise 3, page 71.
Calm down. I won't be long. Do you think it's going to be hot? Just give me 2 seconds. I'll have to leave without you. Did that make any difference? What am I going to do? You're in luck, sir.
Exercise 4, page 71. A.
Come on, if you don't hurry up, the match will start before we get there. You know that I have to be there in time for the kick-off.
Calm down, Ted. I won't be long. I just can't decide what to wear. Do you think it's going to be hot?
Wear whatever you want. Just hurry up.
Okay, here I am. What do you think?
You can't wear that. We're going to a football match.
Okay, I'll change. Just give me 2 seconds.
Hurry up. If you're not ready in 10 minutes, I'll have to leave without you. You know I can't be late. I am the referee after all.
B.
How was the concert last night, Angela?
Well, the music was great. I've never heard Vivaldi played so well. The orchestra really was fantastic.
I'm glad you liked it. Although I don't really enjoy classical music myself, I think it's rather boring.
So did the people who sat behind me last night. They chatted constantly throughout the performance.
Oh, no! What did you do?
Well, I couldn't really do anything without making it worse. So I just turned around a couple of times and glared at them.
Did that make any difference?
No. They just continued talking regardless. People like that shouldn't be allowed to go to concerts.
C.
Hello, Central Booking Office. Can I help you?
Yes, I'd like to book 2 tickets for the Savage Garden concert on Saturday.
I'm sorry, Sal. I'm afraid that Saturday's concert is sold out.
Oh, no. What am I going to do? I promised my brother we'd go. I have to get hold of some tickets.
Well, you're in luck, sir. Due to popular demand, there's going to be a second concert on Sunday.
That's great. You're a lifesaver. Can I book 2 tickets for Sunday, then?
Certainly, sir. Could I have your name, please?
It's Thomas Martin.
Right then, Mr. Martin. Now the tickets have to be paid for and picked up from the ticket office 24 hours in advance.
That's
Exercise
fine.
10, page 73.
Don't miss your chance to see Westlife perform all their hit songs as well as some new tracks live around the country over the next couple of months. Tickets are selling out fast, so the boys have added some extra dates at the following venues. Birmingham, NEC. Extra dates are from Wednesday 12th to Saturday 15th of April. Call 0121-780-4133. Sheffield Arena. The 2 extra dates here are Thursday 26th and Friday 27th of April. Call 0114-256-5656. Wembley Arena. The boys have added 4 extra nights at Wembley to satisfy their London fans from Friday 11th to Monday 14th of May. Call 0208-795-9570. All tickets cost £18.50 and are available from box offices or online at www.ticketsrus.co.uk. Don't wait or you may be too late.
Exercise 18, page 75.
Well, John, before we finish up today, do you have anything you'd like to ask me?
Well, there are a few things. Are there any rules I should know about?
Well, you have to wear a uniform whenever you're on duty. You can change in the staff changing rooms if you want to. They're in the main building.
That's fine. Anything else?
Well, at no time can you enter the animals' cages. Only the trainers can do that. You must fill the water containers, but you can easily do that from outside the cages. And, this is very important, on no account are you to unlock the cages. They must remain locked at all times. We can't have any accidents.
I'll remember that. Now, should I bring my own lunch?
If you want to, but you can also eat in the restaurant. Staff can eat at no charge. Just show your ID badge. Oh, and while I remember, be sure to hand in your ID badge at the gate when you leave each day.
OK, and can I talk to the visitors?
Of course you can. Just be polite and friendly. And one final thing. We don't allow staff members to stay after hours. The animals need their sleep too, you know.
I'll remember that. Thanks, Mr. Walters. I'll see you bright and early on Monday morning, then.
Exercise 24B, page 76.
Living statues. Many of Europe's biggest cities have found they have a new tourist attraction in the form of living statues. Whether you consider them an art form or just a nuisance, these new crowd pleasers certainly deserve a second look. Rachel Alchin talks to performers and spectators on the streets of Milan, where living statues are no longer a novelty. Paula Burns, professional living statue.
I really don't see how anyone can think of me as a public nuisance. I'm a professional performer. Art galleries and organisers of special events and exhibitions usually hire me for private functions. I work very hard at what I do. I spend hours practising my movements, or should I say my lack of movement. I have to stand incredibly still for hours on end in all kinds of situations, usually surrounded by crowds of people. It takes me 2 hours just to make myself up and get dressed. I have to paint my skin very carefully and arrange the folds of my costume so I look like I'm made of marble. So, why do I do it? Well, I enjoy watching the reactions of the audience when I suddenly move. They can't believe their eyes. If you ask me, living statues are an art form. There aren't many people who could do what I do for a living.
Mark Sorby, tourist.
I'm not usually a fan of street performers. I never stop to watch jugglers or acrobats. They're boring. But I think living statues are brilliant. It takes a lot of patience and skill to stay completely motionless for such lengths of time. I've seen some stand for hours, even in the boiling hot temperatures of summer. I'm sure I'd get cramp if I tried it. The best living statue I ever saw was here in Milan. It was a guy on a pedestal, dressed as an Egyptian mummy, with a gold mask and all. It was fantastic. Although I suppose the mask was cheating a bit. Anyway, he looked fantastic, and he was pulling a huge crowd who were giving him an amazing amount of money. He deserved it, though. He was very convincing.
Tony Moreno, amateur living statue.
I don't actually make a living as a street performer. I just do it in my spare time, or during the summer to make some extra cash. You'd be surprised how generous people can be. I usually dress up as a Greek god, and I find that spectators admire my makeup and costume as much as my performance. It's a real challenge to stay still when someone, usually a child, tries to touch you to see if you're real or not. I've never had a bad experience, though. People are usually really nice, and I enjoy making them happy too, even if it is just for a few minutes. However, I have known people to stand looking at me for hours. No, I don't think I'm bothering anyone. People don't have to watch me if they don't want to. No one's forcing them. All they have to do is keep walking.
Exercise 29, page 78.
Hi, Angie, it's Brett.
Oh, hi, Brett.
Listen, are you free tonight?
I don't know yet. Why?
Well, do you fancy coming to a barbecue at Graham's house with me?
I'm not sure. Can I call you later?
Yeah, but can you let me know before 6 o'clock?
I'll try.
Okay,
Exercise
bye.
30, page 78.
Could I have your telephone number? Can I take a message? Could I use your pen? Can I leave early?
3, page 81.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Episode 6. Traveling with Royalty.
Huck and Jim floated past Cairo in the fog, and then a steamboat hit their raft.
There, it's fixed now. Still, we can't go back up the river on a raft.
I know, Huck, but it's dangerous to stay here. Let's go down the river until we get some money, and then come back in a steamboat.
Listen, what's that?
Help! Help! Get us out of here, please!
Who are you running away from?
The people in the town near here found out I was trying to cheat them.
Me too. I was pretending to be a priest.
Why are you two hiding? Is this man a runaway slave?
A runaway? Going south? No, Jim's mine. I'm just afraid somebody will take him away from me.
Let me introduce myself. I'm really the Duke of Bridgewater.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm the son of Louis XVI. I am really the King of France.
Huck, they aren't like any royalty I've ever met.
They're just a pair of liars, Jim. But I don't know how to get rid of them.
Well, Duke, any idea how we can get money out of the fools in all the little riverside towns we come to?
We can act scenes from Shakespeare. I'll teach you.
Oh, Romeo!
They always had to leave town in a hurry.
Let's sing. Page 83.
When I'm feeling lonely, when I'm feeling sad, I turn on my stereo and things don't seem so bad. I love music, fast or slow. It's great to know music makes me happy and my sadness goes. I love music, music, music. How can I feel lonely when music is such fun? When I hear it on my radio, I want to jump up and down, I want to dance all around and sing to everyone. I love music, fast or slow. It's great to know music makes me happy and my sadness goes. I love music, music, music. My friends think I am crazy, but that's alright with me. When I've got a problem, I play my favorite song. I feel that nothing is wrong. The music sets me free. I love music, fast or slow. It's great to know music makes me happy and my sadness goes. I love music, music, music. I love music, music, music. I love music, music, music. I love music, music, music.
Unit 7. Nature's Warning. Exercise 3, page 85.
Have you seen today's paper? Is he in some sort of trouble? I see. Shall we join the campaign? This is a waste of time. I'm not really surprised. It's a total mess. Let's go home.
4, page 85. A.
Hey, Tim, have you seen today's paper?
No, not yet. Why?
That boy from next door is on the front page.
Oh, dear. Is he in some sort of trouble?
It seems he's organized a campaign against the new road.
Oh, yes. I remember something being said on the news about that.
Well, anyway, he and his supporters are living in the trees there to stop the developers cutting them down.
I see. Is he some sort of eco-warrior, then?
I suppose so. He's trying to protect the environment and stop another area from being deforested.
You're right. There's a lot of wildlife in those woods that will be destroyed if that road gets built.
Shall we join the campaign?
Yeah, why not? But I'm not living in a tree, you know.
B. Did you hear the warning on the radio this morning?
No, what warning?
Apparently, the air quality today will not meet recommended levels.
What does that mean?
It means that the air over the city is not moving at all. It's just like a thick cloud of polluted gas all around us.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
It is. Doctors recommend that the elderly and everyone with breathing difficulties should stay inside all day today.
Oh, dear. It sounds like we'll all have breathing difficulties soon if the air quality doesn't improve.
C.
Oh, this is a waste of time. We've been fishing all morning and we haven't caught a thing.
Well, I'm not really surprised. I mean, look at this lake. It's a total mess. The only thing you're likely to catch in this water is a disease.
I just don't understand how it got so dirty.
Well, I suppose the local factories have been pumping their industrial waste into it.
I hate that. Oh, look, someone has been dumping rubbish. What sort of person would do that in such a beautiful spot?
Well, I wouldn't. But a lot of people simply don't care about the environment.
Oh, wait, I've caught something.
What is it? Let me see. Great! We can have fish for dinner.
Ha! It's an old boot. Oh, I'm fed up with this. Let's go home.
I agree.
Exercise 8, page 87. Now, Professor, what can you tell our listeners about the effects of global warming?
Well, the most noticeable effect is that our weather patterns are changing. Did you know that it only takes a rise of a few degrees in temperature to seriously affect life on Earth?
No, I didn't. That's terrible.
Some countries are already becoming hotter, while others are becoming much colder.
But that won't affect everyone, only the far north and south.
No, that's where you're wrong. All parts of the world will be affected, but in different ways. There will be droughts in some parts of the world, and bad storms and floods in others. The rise in temperature will also cause the polar ice caps to melt, and so the sea levels will rise. Actually, this is already happening, and it will soon get much worse.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes, and throughout the world, many low-lying areas are in danger of flooding. Think about how often there have been reports of floods lately in places like Holland and Bangladesh.
I suppose you're right. And what about wildlife?
Well, many plants and animals won't be able to adapt to the new climate and they may die. Some animals are already losing their homes and many plants are disappearing too. If we don't do something soon, then the situation...
Exercise 10A, page 87. 1. You are staying at a friend's house. What does she ask you to do?
Can you do something for me? It's just that the town council has started a recycling scheme and we have to separate our rubbish. So, when you throw something out, can you put it in the right bin, please? See, I've got one for plastics, one for bottles, and one for cans. Oh, and there's a box here for newspapers. I hope that's all right.
2. You overhear two people talking on the street. What is Clive talking about?
What are you doing with all those empty cans, Clive?
I'm taking them down to the recycling centre.
Where did you get them all from?
From schools, parks, cafes, football grounds, anywhere really.
Oh, are you on some sort of clean-up campaign?
Yes, and no. It's kind of a hobby of mine. The centre pays a penny for every aluminium can I give them, and then they give the money to charity.
Good for you. Do you need a hand?
I thought you'd never ask.
Three. Listen to these two women. Why has Jean got so many bins?
Lunch was lovely. Thanks very much, Jean. Let me help you tidy up. I'll put this rubbish in the bin.
Wait a minute. I'd better tell you which one.
Oh? How come you've got all these different bins?
Well, this one's for glass, that one's for paper, the blue one is for plastic, and the end one is for other waste, like food.
That's really efficient. I suppose you recycle everything.
Well, not me personally. The local council collects the different bins on different days.
Really? Maybe I should check if my council does too.
Why not? We should all do our bit. Four. Listen to this woman talking to a friend. What is she talking about?
Look at this. I saw it yesterday in the news agency and I just had to buy it. It's great. See, it's full of articles about the environment. You know, endangered animals and recycling, things like that. Look at this one about the Bengal tiger. The photos are fantastic. It's going to come out every month. I think I might subscribe to it.
Five. Listen to the businessman phoning a client. Why has he phoned?
Now, Mr. Willis, this is Peter Johnson from Heating Services. I'm just calling to check all the details for our appointment. Now, let me see. We're coming on Tuesday at 3 p.m, that's the 23rd, and we'll be putting in a new low-pollutant heating system. Is that right? Now, just let me confirm the model
Size
number.
10B.
Only when all the rivers have run dry, and all the fish in the sea have died. Only when all the rainforests have been burnt down, and there is no food for the animals. Only when all the blue skies have been filled with smoke and the cities of the world have choked, will the white man understand that it's too late to save the earth.
Exercise 19, page 91. A.
Zoos. The wildlife time capsule. Think of a zoo, and images of animals imprisoned in cages is what usually comes to mind. Fortunately, a revolution has been taking place in zoos across Europe, and it looks as though things will never be the same again. This is fantastic news for the animals, who are seeing their concrete cages gradually disappear and are enjoying greatly improved living conditions which are as close to their natural habitats as possible. A new set of guidelines called the European Union Zoo Directive is coming into effect. It has already forced zoos to review their role in animal welfare. Recently, British zoos have created natural environments where the animals are happy to live. They use water and other natural barriers, as well as hidden fences to separate the animals from each other and from the visitors. The new conservation role of zoos involves the breeding of endangered species in captivity. This is carried out in cooperation with other zoos. Together they try to maintain the animals' health as well as increase their numbers. This is an exciting time for Europe's zoos. Their new roles mean that they can become a time capsule, preserving and increasing the numbers and life expectancy of much of our wildlife.
B. Greenhouses for the future. How can we encourage people to understand and care for nature now and in the future? The Eden Project at St Austell in Cornwall is a magnificent example of how nature can be protected and appreciated at the same time. The project is mostly made up of 3 separate domes, or biomes. These biomes are like special greenhouses and contain plant life and ecosystems from around the world. The humid tropic biome contains plants from hot, wet places such as the Amazon region, West Africa, Malaysia and Oceania. The warm temperate biome houses plants from warm, dry areas such as California, South Africa and the Mediterranean. The third biome has no roof because it contains plants that are suitable for the cool, wet British climate. All of the plants in the biomes are grown from seeds and cuttings that are collected from plants all over the world. Only certain birds, insects and reptiles that fit within each environment have been included in the ecosystems. Together with other schemes, the Eden Project carries out breeding programs to try to preserve endangered species. With its strange glass structures, the Eden Project looks more like a space station than anything you would expect to see in Cornwall. However, it is an exciting new look into the natural world.
Exercise 24, page 91.
I'd like your advice.
OK, I'll try to help. What is it?
How can I cut down on my household bills and still do my bit for the environment?
Well, you should try to use less electricity. You ought to use the washing machine at night when it's cheaper.
That's a good idea.
Also, you can use less water by taking a shower instead of having a bath.
I never thought of that.
Why don't you concentrate on simple things like turning taps off to save water?
Thanks. You've been really helpful.
25, page 91.
Where can I repair my car? Where can my car be repaired?
Who took these photographs? Who were these photographs taken by?
Who is decorating the living room? Who is the living room being decorated by?
Who broke the window? Who was the window broken by?
Page 95.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Episode 7, The Wilkes Brothers.
Huck and Jim continue down the Mississippi with 2 men who are cheats and liars. One day, they met a man waiting for a boat to New Orleans. He told them about a rich man from his town who had died the day before. The king asked him all about it.
Peter Wilkes' brothers are on the way here from England. They'll get all his money. Harvey, the oldest, is a priest. William is deaf and dumb. They've never been here, but Peter always wrote them letters. Peter left a letter behind for Harvey, saying where his gold is hidden. For Harvey to look after his niece, Mary Jane, and her sisters.
A few hours later.
I am Harvey Wills. This is my brother William and our servant Adolphus. Could you show us the way to our brother Peter's house, please? Goo, goo, goo. Mary Jane, William says he's so pleased to meet you.
Uncle Harvey, poor Uncle Peter asked me to give you this letter.
$6,000 in gold. Wait, if we give this to the girls, everyone will trust us.
Yes, and then we can steal all of their money. We want you to have this gold.
Don't trust them, Mary Jane. They aren't who they say they are.
Dr. Robinson, of course I trust them. Uncle Harvey, will you look after all our money for us?
That doctor knows we aren't the real Wilkes brothers. Let's take the gold and run. Tonight.
No, we'll wait, sell the house and the slaves, and take everything. Let's hide the gold here until then.
I can't let them rob those poor girls. I'll hide the gold where no one will find it. When Jim and I are safe and far away, I'll write and tell Mary Jane where it is.
Unit 8. One good turn deserves another. Exercise 3, page 96.
No, I guess not. It's almost finished. That didn't hurt, did it? Call the surgery for an appointment. I'm afraid she's right. I guess I'll be out of action for a while. You never pay attention to me. There's nothing we can do about it. We won't argue about it. I'm only joking. Good for her. It sounds like a great experience.
Exercise 4, page 96. A.
What happened here then, Mike? The nurse said that you slipped over.
That's right, at the swimming pool. I'm on the water polo team.
You know you shouldn't run on slippery surfaces.
No, I guess not.
Okay, now, it's almost finished. That didn't hurt, did it?
Not really.
Now, you'll have to wear the cast for 6 weeks, so come back and see me then and I'll take it off. Call the surgery for an appointment.
Oh, the nurse said that I might not be able to go swimming. Is that true?
I'm afraid she's right. You definitely need to keep that cast dry.
All right. I guess I'll be out of action for a while then.
B.
Oh no, look at the queue, Brad. I told you we should have got here earlier.
What? When did you say that?
Last night, remember when we were packing? I said that we had to be at the airport 2 hours before our flight, and you said that we didn't need to worry.
No, you said that we had to leave the house 2 hours before the flight.
I did not! Oh, you never pay attention to me.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it now, Kate. We'll just have to wait our turn like everyone else.
All right. We won't argue about it. We're here now, and that's the main thing.
Right. Have you got the tickets?
No! You told me you had put them in your bag.
I'm only joking. Relax.
C.
Guess who I got a letter from? Fiona.
Oh, really? Is she still in the Sudan?
That's right, at a refugee camp. She said she was really enjoying it, but that it was hard work.
I'm not surprised. I don't think I could be a relief worker. Doesn't she find it depressing?
Well, no. She said that she couldn't imagine doing anything better.
Good for her. How long is she going to stay there?
I'm not sure. When she applied for the job, she said she signed a 2-year contract.
And how long has she been there?
About 9 months, I think. The organization she works for said that she would move to another location for the 2nd year.
It sounds like a great experience.
Exercise 9A, page 98. 1.
I don't know what's caused it. Perhaps it's something I ate. Anyway, I feel terrible. My stomach really hurts and I feel really sick.
2.
I was playing tennis with my friend Bill this morning when I overreached to return a fast ball and went over on my ankle. It really hurts now and I can't walk on it at all.
3.
I fell down the stairs yesterday at work. I think I must have put out my hand to stop the fall because now my wrist hurts so much I can hardly move it.
4.
Tom Mum and I were playing cricket in the park, and the ball bounced up and hit me in the face. Now my eye is swollen and bruised. You should see it.
5.
It's nothing, really. I fell off my skateboard and landed on my knee. It's a bit sore, but the bruising looks worse than it really is.
13. Page 99. 1.
The flight has been cancelled, hasn't it?
2.
We take the first left, don't we?
3.
She'll be on time, won't she?
4.
Summer's been hot this year, hasn't it?
5.
You finished the report, didn't you?
6.
She's looking great, isn't she?
Size 24B, page 102. A.
Oxfam is a charitable organization that helps save millions of lives every day by providing food, shelter, and medical supplies for victims of famines, floods, and civil war in the developing world. It works to improve the lives of the less fortunate all over the world. Oxfam first began development work in 1962 in Ethiopia. During the famine of the 80s, it played a major role in the international relief effort, organizing food and water distribution. Today, much of Oxfam's work is still in Africa, where it tries to help communities to find long-term solutions to their problems. Oxfam still gives money to the needy, but it also teaches them to grow their own food, dig wells for clean water, and even to become health workers. It also gives advice on education and on how to prepare for droughts and famines by storing water and food. Nowadays, thanks to Oxfam, people in over 70 countries are living better lives.
B.
Voluntary Services Overseas is a charity that is committed to helping improve the quality of life for people living in poor countries. It does this by sending expert volunteers to places where they can share their skills with the local people and therefore help them to help themselves. VSO was set up in 1958, and since then it has placed over 29,000 volunteers overseas. At present, there are about 2,000 qualified and experienced volunteers working in places such as Mozambique, Laos and Rwanda. VSO volunteers are men and women of all ages and all backgrounds. They go overseas for a minimum period of 2 years, and they are given accommodation and a basic wage. Many volunteers form lasting friendships abroad and establish themselves as useful and valued members of the community.
C. Queen Elizabeth's Foundation for Disabled People is a charity that is dedicated to helping people with physical disabilities. It provides many different services, such as employment, training and housing, as well as advice and support through its 8 specialist disability centres. The Foundation has been helping disabled people since 1934. Although it relies heavily on donations and volunteers, it manages to support over 100,000 disabled people every year. Its main priority is to help people with disabilities to live a normal life. It does this through the Development Centre, where it teaches the life skills disabled people need to achieve as much independence as they are capable of. The centre is home to 52 young people who all have the ability and determination to stand on their own 2 feet. Recently, work was completed on 16 new self-contained independent living flats for residents, which contain all the special equipment they need. Exercise 28A, page 103.
Hello, you must be Timothy Lee.
That's right.
I see you want to become a volunteer.
Yes, I do.
So, how did you hear about our volunteer program, Mr. Lee?
I saw an advertisement in the local paper.
I see. When would you be able to start?
Any time after the beginning of September.
Great! Could you fill in this form, please, Mr. Lee?
Of course.
Page 107.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Episode 8. Peter Wilkes' Funeral.
Huck hides a bag of gold coins in Peter Wilkes' coffin. The king and duke discover it is missing.
Have you been in our room, boy?
No, but I saw the slaves coming out of there yesterday.
And today you sold the slaves, you old fool. They've got our gold.
Our dear friend, Peter Wilkes.
The gold is safe now.
Good afternoon. I'm Harvey Wilkes, and this is my brother William.
Don't let any of them go. We'll find out which of these brothers are lying.
I can prove I'm Peter's brother. If you look carefully at his chest, you'll see a small blue mark.
But we've just buried him. Oh, well, I suppose we'll have to dig him up again. Look! A bag of gold in the coffin.
This is my chance to escape. Quick, Jim! Untie the rope and let's go!
Wait! You aren't going anywhere without us.
So they went on down the Mississippi, just like before. One day, Huck slept later than usual.
Good morning. Where's Jim? And where's the king?
The old fool's taken your slave to sell him. We're going away.
Sin. Page 109.
Water to drink to. We have to fight to save the children. We all have so much to give. We have to try to save the children. Help them to live. Help them to live. There are children in the world who have no homes, who live all alone out on the city street. There are children with no money to survive, who can't afford to buy a single thing to eat. We have to fight to save the children. We all have so much to give. We have to try to save the children. Help them to live. Help them to live. children. We all have so much to give. We have to try to save the children. Help them to live. Help them to live. We have to fight to save the children. We all have so much to give. We have to try to save the children. Help them to live. Help them to live.
Unit 9. A healthy mind in a healthy body.
Exercise 3, page 110.
I wouldn't worry. Look out! We're fighting a losing battle. Spread out. That's the spirit. Let's get out there and win. That'll be a first. So will winning a race.
Exercise 4, page 111. A.
This is more difficult than I thought it would be.
I know what you mean. There are too many things to remember.
I know. Skis together, heels apart, poles in front. I'm sure I'll fall flat on my face as soon as we set off.
Oh, well, I wouldn't worry. The snow doesn't look too hard, so at least we'll have a soft landing.
You're right. I just hope I can remember enough of the instructor's tips to stay upright.
Well, the instructor told us to bend our knees, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yes, but I think that makes you go faster. Look out!
Ah!
B.
Now, come on, lads. We can win this match if you just concentrate.
Well, we're trying, Coach, but we're fighting a losing battle.
Yeah, Greenmont High are much better than us.
Rubbish. You're good enough to beat them. Work as a team. Spread out. Pass the ball around the court.
We'll try, Coach. Come on, guys. It's not too late to even the score.
That's the spirit. Coach told us to work as a team, so let's show him what teamwork is.
C.
Come on, can't you row any faster?
We're rowing as fast as we can.
I know you're all tired, but keep up the pace. A few more strokes and we'll be at the finish line. Then you can all have a nice hot shower and I might let you go home early.
That'll be a first.
So we're winning a race. Come on, just a few more sessions like this and you'll be ready to compete with the best. So put your backs into it, girls.
Yes, let's do it. Exercise 8A, page 112. Do you want to come to school with me tomorrow, Noriko?
Well, I'd like to, if that's all right. I want to see what English schools are like.
Great! I think you'll enjoy it.
When do children start school here in England?
They usually go to nursery school first, when they're about 3 years old.
Really? That's when we start too.
They don't have lessons, though. They play or draw pictures and learn things like counting and the alphabet.
Oh, I see. So when do they start having proper lessons?
Well, when they're 5 years old, they start primary school. They stay there until they're 11.
And then they go to secondary school, right?
That's right, like me.
So when can English people leave secondary school?
Well, some people decide to leave when they're 16. They either go to a special college where they do some kind of job training, or they stop studying altogether and get a job.
So are you going to leave school when you're 16?
No, I'm going to stay at school for another 2 years.
And then university?
That's right. When I'm 18, I'll go on to university. Some people get a job or do some other training, but I don't want to. I'm going to get a degree before I start work.
Just like me. So what time are we going to school tomorrow?
Exercise 14, page 114. Mark loves watching wrestling matches on TV, but But he doesn't enjoy taking part in matches himself. He says he's afraid of getting hurt, as it's a very violent sport. He usually goes skiing at the indoor ski centre at weekends. He's a fantastic skier and loves trying out all the jumps they've got there. Amy likes nothing more than being out in the water. She wants to have her own boat one day, so that she can go sailing at the weekends. Sailing boats are very expensive, though, so for now she's happy to go canoeing with her friends instead. Tony is always talking about ice hockey. He really wants to be on a team. The trouble is, he can't skate. Every time he steps onto the ice, he falls over. Poor Tony. He's not really very sporty. The only sport he's ever been good at is badminton, but he'd love to try something a bit more exciting. Jake has never been much good at team sports, and he doesn't really like ball games. He tried badminton lessons for a while, but he never really got the hang of it. Then he joined a wrestling club down at the gym, and he's never looked back. He's already won several prizes in amateur wrestling matches. When Fiona bought a pair of ice skates, everyone thought she was planning to take up figure skating. After all, she's very graceful, and she's always been a great dancer. We were very surprised when she told us that she was on the ice hockey team. We were even more taken aback when she turned out to be their star player. When she gets out on the ice, there's no stopping her. Exercise 15A, page 114.
Thanks, Ron. Well, a fantastic night of football with some closely fought matches. Let's start with Manchester United, who are battling to keep their 4-point lead over Arsenal. Despite the return of Beckham, a disappointing match against Liverpool ending in a 0-0 draw. Aston Villa took on the mighty Leeds United, but after a promising start, lost 4-2 at home. Middlesbrough lost 2-0 to Everton. That means Middlesbrough have fallen into 8th position. West Ham travelled to Southampton, where they achieved a decisive 2-0 victory. Leicester City drew 2-2 with Chelsea, and Tottenham Hotspur beat Newcastle United at White Hart Lane 4-2, Sol Campbell scoring a hat-trick for Spurs. Now, if we have a look at the league tables, we can
23,
see...
page 115.
Can I help you?
Yes, I'd like 2 tickets for the Athletics Championship on Friday, please.
Is that for the morning or afternoon session?
I want to watch the men's hurdles race.
The semi-finals are in the afternoon.
OK. Can I have the best seats you've got, please?
Right. I've got H20 and H21 at £35 each.
That's fine.
Thank you. Here are your
Exercise
tickets.
24,
Thank you.
page 116.
Kevin is not very keen on team sports. He wants something he can do on his own. He wants a quiet activity that he can do whenever he has some spare time. Lucy is very energetic, and she's looking for a lively activity which she can do 3 times a week to help her to stay fit. She loves exercising to music. Terry would like to get fit and have fun at the same time. He also wants to do an activity which will allow him to meet new people with similar interests. He loves team sports. Jessica wants to go on a mountaineering holiday. She wants to get in plenty of practice before she goes. Chris really needs to get fit, but he hates exercising in groups, and he isn't motivated enough to go to the gym on his own. Helen and Josie are looking for a weekend activity which will be good for their social lives as well as their figures. They like dancing, listening to music, and meeting people.
Whatever activity you're looking for, you're sure to find it at Blue Water Sports and Leisure Centre. There's so much to choose from. Get fit quick. However you choose to get fit, whether it's on the tennis, squash or basketball courts or running around the track, don't forget to take advantage of Blue Water's fully equipped gym. With qualified staff and all the latest equipment, you can get a great workout and improve your fitness levels in no time. Indoor climbing. If you love a challenge, but you're not quite ready for Everest, then perhaps our indoor climbing centre is the place for you. You don't have to be an experienced climber, as our instructors are always on hand to help you. Climbing is great fun. Equipment is provided, so come and have a go. Five-a-side football. If you think you could be the next David Beckham, then why not try five-a-side football? You can join the league as an individual or as a team. Plan a match every week or just take part in the training sessions 3 times a week. All those with good team skills and a love of the game are welcome. Ice disco. The coolest disco ever. On Friday and Saturday evenings from 7 till 10 p.m, you can party on ice at our indoor skating rink. Skate to the latest releases under colourful disco lights. Make new friends and have a great time while you keep fit. Children and adults are welcome. Aerobics classes. Tired of sitting behind a desk all day? This is the perfect way to burn off that extra energy after work. Our experienced aerobics instructors will keep you in shape and keep you entertained with energetic workouts to lively music. Classes are held every evening from 7 till 8 p.m. Personal trainers. Having trouble getting started on the road to fitness? Why not hire one of our trainers to help you shed those extra pounds? Our dedicated personal trainers know exactly how to bring out the best in you. Book your own trainer for a week, a month, or even a year. You'll soon notice the difference. Time to relax. When you've been exercising hard, there's nothing more relaxing than a steamy sauna or a bubbling jacuzzi. Give your aching muscles a break in Blue Water's Relax Zone. Even if you haven't exercised, there's no reason why you can't have a rest. The Relax Zone is the place where everyone can wind down and forget their troubles. Swim for fitness. Our outdoor heated pool is the ideal place for those who like to go it alone. Swimming is great for every part of the body, so it's a perfect, peaceful way to exercise. This training pool is for serious swimmers only. No playing here, please. Open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Exercise 32, page 118. What a nice day. How clever you are. What a funny film. How cold it is. What lovely children. Exercise 2, page 121.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Episode 9, Looking for Jim.
When Huck wakes up one day, the king has taken Jim away to sell him. Huck ran to the nearest town and asked about Jim.
Silas Phelps bought the slave. His farm's 2 miles that way.
Later.
Excuse me, are you Mrs. Phelps?
Call me Aunt Sally, dear. We've been expecting you. Silas, here's our nephew, Tom Sawyer.
Tom Sawyer? They're expecting my friend Tom. I'd better find him before he gets here. I have to go to town to get my suitcase.
Huck met Tom on the way to town and told him how he had run away from his pap and about Jim and Tom's Aunt Sally.
I'll say I'm my brother Sid, and you can be me. Aunt Sally's never met me. Then I'll help you rescue Jim.
The next day.
Your Uncle Silas is keeping Jim in there. We can steal the key, rescue him tonight and escape on my raft.
No, Huck, that's too easy. We have to do it with style.
At midnight.
Huck! Master Tom! Unlock my chains and let's go!
No, Jim, that's not how real prisoners do it in stories. You have to stay here at least a week and then escape wearing Aunt Sally's dress.
And Tom says real prisoners have snakes and rats for pets. So I brought you some.
1 week later.
Quiet now. I sent a letter saying someone was going to steal Jim tonight. And all Uncle Silas' friends are outside with guns.
Unit 10. Our Changing World. Exercise 3. Page 122.
Good grief! How will you cope in the future? What do you mean? If that happens, I'll be broke. If only it was as easy as it sounds. I take it you took the job. Isn't it wonderful? That's really up to me. I wish I had a job like that. It's never too late. I'm fed up. I wish I felt better.
Exercise 4, page 122. A.
I don't believe it. Look at my credit card bill.
Good grief, Ellen, what did you buy?
That's the problem, I don't remember. Oh, I wish credit cards had never been invented.
Why?
Well, they make it so easy to spend money.
Oh, Ellen, how will you cope in the future?
What do you mean?
Well, soon we'll all have smart cards. All our shopping will be done by computer, and we won't use cash at all.
Oh, no. If that happens, I'll be broke.
Well, if you were more organised, you wouldn't have a problem. If you'd kept a list of everything you bought, your bill wouldn't have come as such a shock.
Yes, you're right. If only it was as easy as it sounds.
B.
You look happy, Tony. I take it you got the job.
Yes, I start on Monday. Isn't it wonderful?
It's great. So tell me about it. What hours do you have to work?
Well, that's really up to me. You see, I'll be working from home most of the time.
Really? I'm so jealous of you.
Yes, it's very convenient. The company is giving me a new computer so we can have conferences and meetings on the internet. I can send them my work over the internet too, so I'll hardly have to go into the office at all.
Wow. I wish I had a job like that.
Well, if you'd taken that information technology course, you could easily have got a better job.
I know. Perhaps I should take the course now.
Why not? It's never too late.
C.
What's the matter, Anne? Does your head still hurt?
Yes, and I'm fed up. I wish I felt better.
I know. It's horrible being ill.
If I hadn't been ill, I could have gone to Mark's party yesterday. I bet everyone had a brilliant time.
Well, never mind. There's always Paul's party on Saturday.
But I'll probably still be ill.
Well, that's why I bought you this.
What is it?
It's a webcam. Paul's got one too. So if we plug it into the computer, you'll be able to join the party over the internet.
That's a great idea. I feel better already.
Exercise 14, page 126. Today, on the Book of the Week show, we shall be reviewing Spaceman, a biography of Buzz Aldrin by Bailey Evans. Here's John Turney with his review.
Buzz Aldrin is 71 years old now, but we all still think of him as the young astronaut who walked on the moon in 1969. Evans' book gives us a straightforward look at Aldrin's life and experiences. In his interviews with Aldrin, Buzz talks openly about his achievements and regrets. You might expect one of his regrets to be that he was the second man on the moon rather than the first. However, he does not regret the fact that Neil Armstrong was given that privilege at all. For Aldrin, His biggest regrets are that he never went back into space after that historical journey in 1969, and that space travel did not become routine. He wanted to see space exploration continue, and he had hoped to see men on Mars by the year 2000. He believes that if the equipment from the Apollo missions had been reused, space exploration could have continued. When he came back to Earth after his lunar trip, he found life difficult to cope with. His personal problems affected his family life, and he struggled to cope with his feelings of disappointment. This was a regrettable period in his life. However, when he resigned from NASA in 1972, he set up Starcraft Enterprises to help realize his dreams of space travel and tourism. Now happily married to his second wife Lois, he is working towards making those dreams come true. Spaceman by Bailey Evans is a well-written book that tells the life story of a very interesting and intelligent man, Buzz Aldrin.
Exercise 20A, page 127. 1.
So, how was the interview?
Don't ask. There's no way they'll offer me the job.
Why not?
Because I've got no idea about all this modern technology. I wouldn't even be able to type a letter on the machines they have at that company.
Oh, dear. Perhaps you should have taken that information technology course after all.
Well, I know that now, don't I?
2.
After I left school, I had the offer of a place at university. At that time, I didn't feel ready for another 3 years of further education, so I took a job with a local building firm. 20 years later, and I'm still here. And although I've had a successful career, I often wonder how different my life would be if I'd gone to university.
3. I wanted to go to a party, but there was no one at home to give me a lift. I'd passed my driving test, but I wasn't insured in my parents' cars. I took Dad's car anyway, and you guessed it, I crashed it. Paying for the repairs taught me a lesson I'll never forget. 4.
It's no use. The car won't start.
Well, what are we going to do? We're miles away from anywhere.
Don't worry. This is the 21st century. I can call for help from wherever I am.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh dear, it's not in my bag. I must have left it at home.
Well, that's just great. How are we going to call anyone now?
I'm sorry. I can't believe I didn't bring it with me.
5.
I was desperate to get away for a while, so I went online and booked one of those last-minute deals. It was only £200, but it was money down the drain. It was a nightmare from start to finish. The hotel was horrible, the beach was dirty, the food was disgusting. I won't be making that mistake again.
27, page 128. People who changed the world.
Yuri Gagarin.
I see Earth. It's so beautiful.
These are the first words ever spoken by a human in space. The speaker was 27-year-old Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin. Yuri Gagarin was born on the 9th of March 1934 in Smolensk, Russia. When he left school, Yuri decided to train as an engineer. So he enrolled at a technical college on the outskirts of Moscow. While he was a student, he became interested in aircraft and took lessons at a local flying school. Soon it became obvious he was a talented pilot. So when he finished his studies in 1955, he joined the Soviet Air Force. This proved to be a turning point in his life. He was chosen to be a test pilot, flying new and experimental aircraft. Yuri was selected to join a special group of the country's best test pilots and went on to further training to be a cosmonaut. His instructors described him as very calm and confident, with very quick reactions. Yuri's epic 108-minute flight into space on the 12th of April 1961 made headline news all over the world. It was man's first venture into space and the beginning of his journey to the stars. As the pilot of the spaceship, Gagarin proved that a human could survive liftoff, re-entry, and weightlessness and return safely to Earth. What's more, he was able to record important data which future astronauts would use. Yuri Gagarin became a national hero. Unfortunately, he was tragically killed 7 years later in a plane crash. He was 34 years old.
Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein is one of the most gifted scientists of all time. He is best known for his theory of relativity, which he developed when he was only 26 and which changed the way scientists looked at space and time. Einstein was born on the 14th of March 1874 in Ulm, Württemberg, Germany. He studied mathematics and physics at Zurich University and continued to live in Switzerland after finishing his studies. He worked in an office but spent his spare time doing scientific research and experiments. He became professor at Zurich University in 1909, but even before that, his research had made him an important force in the world of physics. In 1921, he won the Nobel Prize in Physics. Einstein's genius changed the course of history, since it was central to the development of atomic energy. Einstein was an outspoken believer in world peace, however, and he was deeply saddened when he realized the outcome of his research would be an atom bomb. He said at the time, "If only I had known, I should have become a watchmaker." In 1933, Einstein accepted a position for life as a professor at Princeton University. He lived there, dedicated to the study of physics, until his death in 1955.
Steve Jobs. In 1975, Steve Jobs founded Apple Computer, a company that revolutionized the personal computer. Born in 1955, Steve grew up in Silicon Valley, California. He dropped out of college after the first term and took a job as a video game designer. Here he met up with an old friend, Steve Wozniak, and together they founded Apple. The pair built their first computer in Jobs' parents' garage. A local electronics shop bought 50 of these computers, and the company was on its way to success. The company's second model, Apple II, changed the computer industry forever by making computers smaller and more user-friendly, so they could be used by ordinary people. Both charming and demanding, Jobs managed to push Apple Computer to the head of the computer revolution. Steve Jobs' visionary designs changed people's idea of computers. We started out to get a computer in the hands of everyday people, and we succeeded beyond our wildest dreams, he once said. He now has plans to lead another revolution, this time in software, by making it quicker and cheaper to develop. Size 30A, page 129.
I wish I hadn't watched that horror film last night.
Really? Why?
If I hadn't watched it, I wouldn't have had nightmares afterwards.
31A, page 129.
I wish I had a mobile phone.
Really? Why's that?
Well, if I had a mobile phone, I could keep in touch with my friends.
Well, I wish I didn't have a mobile phone.
Oh? Why?
Because if I didn't have a mobile phone, I wouldn't pay such high bills every month. 32. Page 129.
If I were you, I'd tell the truth. If she asked me, I'd help her. If he got up early, he'd get to work on time. If I weren't so tired, I'd go to Paul's party.
Page 133.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Episode 10, A Happy End.
Huck and Tom help Jim escape, but Uncle Silas's friends are waiting with guns.
All right, let's run for the raft!
Ready, our boys! Shoot!
You're free, Jim. We did it.
Jim, Tom's been shot.
Take the raft and go, Jim. They'll catch you.
No, we can't leave you. Huck, you get the doctor, and I'll stay here with Tom.
Huck found a doctor in town and took him to Tom. Then he went and told Aunt Sally the truth. They both waited for Tom and the doctor.
Tom!
He'll be all right, Mrs. Phelps. And this slave, Jim, helped me, instead of running away. So please don't treat him badly.
Wait, Jim isn't a slave anymore. Miss Watson felt so bad about wanting to sell him, she set him free instead.
Jim's free? Then why did we rescue him?
Because it's an adventure. Jim, I'll give you $40 for being such a good prisoner.
You're rich, Jim, and free. You don't have to run now.
Nor do you, Huck. Do you remember the dead man in the floating house? Well, Huck, that was your pap.
Huck, dear, you're an orphan now. Would you like a home here with us?
Thank you. But I tried that with the widow Douglas, and I hate it. No. I'm going somewhere new for more adventures.
Sing, page 137.
I wish I were a millionaire with lots of cash to spend. Everyone I ever met would want to be my friend. I wish I were a film star living in Hollywood. I'd be seen on the silver screen, life would be so good. If only my wishes would come true. I wish they would, it's a shame they never do. If only I were famous, I'd be a household name. All my friends and neighbors would be jealous of my fame. If only I were wealthy as famous people are, I'd buy a house in the country and a shiny racing car. If only my wishes would come true. I wish they would, it's a shame they never do. I wish my life were different, I wish I were a star. I've got so much ambition, I really should go far. I wish I knew for certain just what I'm going to be, but I can't be told what the future holds, so I have to wait and see. If only my wishes would come true. I wish they would, it's a shame they never do.
Around the English-speaking world. 1. Clans.
Scottish clans. The Gaelic word clan means children, but it is also used to describe a large group of families, all related to the same ancestors. The Scottish clans began 800 to 1,000 years ago in the Highlands of northern Scotland. Each clan might include several thousand people and was ruled by a chief. All members of a clan were expected to be loyal to the chief and to each other. Fighting between clans was common, and powerful clans such as the MacDonalds or the Campbells had wide areas of clan territory. All members of a clan had the same surname, and all wore the same tartan. This is a type of woolen cloth with a pattern of coloured checks, and each clan had its own design. In early Scotland, only Highlanders wore kilts. Lowlanders, as Scots from the south are called, saw them as barbaric. In those days, the kilt was just a long piece of thick tartan cloth wrapped around the body and held in place with a belt. Nowadays, kilts are part of the national dress of Scotland and are worn with pride by Highlanders and Lowlanders alike.
Australian Aborigines. Aborigines, aborigine is Latin for from the beginning, were the first inhabitants of Australia. When English colonists reached Australia in 1788, the Aborigines had been there for at least 40,000 years. They lived in small bands of a few families, moving from place to hunt animals and gather roots and fruit for food. Each band was part of a clan, made up of other family groups who had the same ancestors. The clan didn't have a chief, but the elders, respected older men, usually made any important decisions. The whole clan shared a wide territory where they lived and hunted, and they would all get together at certain times of the year for religious rituals. Part of their religious belief was the need to take care of the land and all plants and animals on it. As well as humans, each clan included several species of animals, which were seen as related members of the clan. Songs, dances, and paintings had religious importance too. Some ancient Aborigine rock paintings can still be seen today. Sadly, the traditional Aborigine culture has almost completely disappeared now, but it has a special place in Australia's history.
By land and sea.
Canadian dog sleds. In the freezing winter months, much of Canada is covered with snow and ice. The Inuit people, Canada's first inhabitants, have traveled by dog sled for thousands of years. When settlers from Europe arrived, they copied the Inuit means of transport. Nowadays, snowmobiles have replaced dog sleds as the normal way of getting around, but sleds are still used for fun or sport, especially sled dog racing. Although there are many types of sled dogs used for racing, Siberian Huskies are probably the most popular. Each dog wears a harness connected to a long rope on the front of the sled. Drivers, who are called mushers, don't have any reins. Instead, they control the dogs by shouting commands, such as Gee, turn right, and Haw, turn left. There are large numbers of keen sled dog racers in parts of Canada and Alaska. There are short speed races, as well as races that can last several days, and there is big prize money for top events. One such race is the John Bear Grease Marathon, named after the man who used a dog sled to deliver the mail over a century ago. Today, competitors in the race carry a letter on their sleds in his memory.
Irish skin boats. Humans began making boats 50,000 years ago, and one of the earliest types had a wooden frame covered in animal skins. The ancient Egyptians, the Vikings, the Inuit, and other Native Americans all used skin boats. Celts arriving in Ireland around 6000 BC used boats of this kind, which they called curraghs for fishing. The surprising thing, however, is that Irish fishermen still use curraghs today. Medieval Irish curraghs were made in the traditional way, but many of them also had sails. Some were 20 meters long, with a crew of 6 to 10 people. A curragh built in Cork in 1750 was over 30 meters long, the largest ever made. Nowadays, the fishermen do not use animal skins, but a tough cloth called canvas, which they stretch over a light wooden frame. They then paint the canvas with tar, which hardens to make the boat waterproof. The results may look primitive, but curraghs have one great advantage over other fishing boats. They are as light as a feather and rise high on the waves, so they can survive rough, stormy seas and rocky shores, when steel or fiberglass boats would crack or sink. That's why so many of Ireland's fishermen prefer curraghs, especially on Ireland's beautiful but dangerous west coast.
Home to royalty.
Edinburgh Castle. Edinburgh Castle, situated high above the city on Castle Rock, was once the home of the kings and queens of Scotland. The 700-year-old crown of Scotland is still on display there, and the royal apartments include a tiny room where the future King of England, James I, was born in 1566. The castle was the site of many battles with the English. Over the centuries, it survived many attempts to destroy it, which is why many Scots see it as a symbol of their own survival. Visitors to the castle will see a military guard at the gate, because the castle is still the headquarters of the Army's Scottish Division. The famous military tattoo is also held here every August. This is a spectacular 3-week festival of bagpipe and band music, marching and displays by Scottish regiments. Edinburgh Castle houses exhibitions of Scottish history and a collection of armour and weapons. As well as what there is to see inside, the castle's hilltop position offers the best views of the city.
Osborne House. Osborne House is located on the Isle of Wight, overlooking the sea. A beautiful Italian-style stately home, it was the holiday home of Queen Victoria and her family. Osborne House has been kept almost exactly as it was when Queen Victoria lived and died there. The rooms are full of the Queen's personal possessions, including pictures and books. Visitors can also see how the royal family spent their leisure time. In the grounds there is a Swiss cottage, designed as a playhouse for the royal children, as well as beautiful gardens open to the public. One of the jewels of Osborne House is the Durbar Room. The beautifully decorated walls and ceiling were made by Indian craftsmen. This room was where Victoria entertained heads of state, but it was also where her children used to perform plays for their parents. Queen Victoria saw Osborne House as her home, and its privacy was an escape from the formal atmosphere of Buckingham Palace. Today, it stands as a memorial to Britain's much-loved and longest-reigning queen.
In search of a new life.
Australia. Thousands of people emigrate to Australia every year, leaving their own countries in search of a better life down under. It's a huge, brave step, and it takes months of paperwork before they can be accepted into their new country. There are two main types of permanent visas for a move to Australia. For Class A, non-business visas, there is a points system. The more points you score for things like qualifications and experience, the better your chances of being given a visa. However, the points system applies only to younger people, and anyone over 45 must have close relatives in Australia in order to get a Class A visa. Class B, business visas, are mostly for people who own successful companies and want to base them in Australia. There are several circumstances which allow you to get a temporary visa. One of the easiest ways to live in Australia for a while is as a student. If you can pay your course fees and living expenses, you can stay in the country for the duration of your studies. Naturally, your school, college or university must accept you on the course before you can apply for a visa.
The USA. The United States of America, U.S., has often been called a nation of immigrants. For centuries, people moved to the U.S. in search of the American dream, and millions of people a year still apply for visas to live and work in the U.S. Nowadays, however, the United States has very strict immigration controls. There are two main types of visa. A non-immigrant visa is given to people visiting the U.S. for a temporary period, for example, as a tourist or to study at an American university. If you want to live in the U.S. permanently, you need an immigrant visa. This is known as a green card, although these days the visas are actually white, pink, or multicolored. There are a number of ways in which you can qualify for a green card, such as having close relatives who are American citizens, or investing money to start your own business in the U.S. There are limited numbers of visas issued each year, though, so you will probably be put on a waiting list. This means that even if you meet all the requirements, it might be a long time before you can start a new life in the United States.
Highways to the sea.
The mighty Mississippi. Dividing the U.S. from north to south, the mighty Mississippi River flows 3,760 kilometers through the heart of the country to New Orleans. Native Americans called it Mississippi, Father of Waters or Big River, and it is the largest river in North America. Before the days of roads and railways, the river was an important means of travel and transportation. The French and Spanish used the river to explore North America, and when steamboats began to travel the Mississippi in the 1800s, it became a major trade route. The river is still one of the busiest commercial waterways in the world. Passengers today can travel the river on a Mississippi riverboat exactly like the luxury steamboats of the 19th century. They enjoy the history and adventure of the past as they admire the beautiful scenery of the river. The Mississippi has a special place in the history and literature of North America. One of the greatest U.S. presidents, Abraham Lincoln, worked as a boatman on the river. Mark Twain, who grew up in a small town on the banks of the Mississippi and worked as a riverboat pilot, helped make the river famous through works such as Huckleberry Finn and Life on the Mississippi. Twain loved the Mississippi, and he compared it to a wonderful book which has a new story to tell every day.
London and the River Thames. Only 338 kilometres long, the River Thames is not the longest river in the UK, but it is the most famous and important. Nearly 2,000 years ago, the Romans built a small town called Londinium, next to the Thames, which grew into what is now London. The river helped to make London one of the world's major ports, even though it is 50 kilometres from the sea. For more than 1,000 years, trading ships sailed up the Thames to London. The huge London docks built in the 1800s have been replaced by newer ones at Tilbury, further downstream, but the lower part of the Thames is still one of the world's most important commercial waterways. Visitors to London can enjoy sightseeing cruises along the Thames, past some of the city's most famous landmarks, such as Big Ben and Tower Bridge. Some cruises go down as far as the Thames Barrier, built to protect London from flooding by the tide. The level of the Thames in London rises and falls 7 metres with the tide in the North Sea. London and the Thames have been part of the lives and works of great writers and poets throughout England's history. For instance, William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre stood on the bank of the Thames, while many of Charles Dickens' great novels are about the city and the river which runs through its heart.